Welcome, history lovers and mystery seekers. Today, we journey back to 12th century England, to a small Suffolk village called Woolpit. Here, an event unfolded that has baffled historians, folklorists, and curious minds for centuries. Imagine this: local villagers are out working in the fields when they come across something truly extraordinary. Two lost children, a brother and a sister, huddled together, speaking a language no one could understand. They wore strange, unfamiliar clothing, and most astonishingly of all, their skin was green. This wasn't just a story told around a campfire generations later. It was documented by not one but two contemporary chroniclers, Ralph of Coggeshall and William of Newburgh. They recorded how local reapers stumbled upon this bewildered pair near one of the wolf-trapping pits that gave the village its name. The children were crying, clearly distressed and disoriented. They were brought back to the village, to the home of a local knight, Sir Richard de Colin. Everyone was stumped. Who were they? Where did they come from? And why was their skin tinted a pale, sickly green? For days, the children refused all food offered to them. They seemed to be starving, yet they turned away bread, meat, and everything else placed before them. Then, someone brought in some freshly picked broad beans, still on the stalk. The children's eyes lit up. They eagerly broke open the stalks, not to eat the beans inside, but to search for something within the stems, as if expecting to find their food there. When they found nothing, they began to weep. Eventually, a kind villager showed them how to shell and eat the beans, which they consumed voraciously. For a long time, green beans were the only food they would touch. This strange diet only deepened the mystery surrounding their origins. The villagers took the children in and had them baptized, hoping to integrate them into the community. But life in this new, bright world was hard on them. Especially the boy. He seemed to grow weaker and more withdrawn each day. Despite the care he received, he sadly fell ill and passed away just a short time after their arrival. His sister, however, proved to be more resilient. She began to adapt to her new surroundings. As she started eating a more varied diet, including bread and other foods, a remarkable change occurred. The green hue of her skin slowly faded, eventually disappearing completely, leaving her with a normal complexion. She was given the name Agnes, and over time learned to speak English. She integrated into the village life, eventually working as a servant in the household of Sir Richard de Colin, the very man who had first taken her in. Some accounts even say she later married a man from King's Lynn and started a family of her own. With her new language, Agnes was finally able to share the incredible story of where she and her brother had come from. Agnes told a tale that sounded like something straight out of a fairy story. She said they came from a place called St. Martin's Land. It wasn't a land like England, bathed in sunlight. Instead, it was a subterranean world, a place of perpetual twilight where the sun never fully rose. In her world, everything was dim, and all the inhabitants, just like her and her brother, had green skin. She recounted a normal day, where she and her brother were out tending their father's flock. Suddenly, they heard a loud, beautiful sound like the ringing of bells. Drawn by the enchanting noise, they wandered into a cavern. They followed the sound and the glimmer of a distant light through a long, winding passage until they suddenly emerged from the darkness, and found themselves blinking in the bright sunlight of the fields of Woolpit, completely lost and terrified. So, what are we to make of this incredible story? Over the centuries, countless theories have been proposed, ranging from the purely magical to the surprisingly plausible. For folklore enthusiasts, the answer is simple. The children were not human. They were fairies, elves, or beings from a parallel dimension who had accidentally stumbled into our world. The underground land of St. Martin certainly sounds like the mythical fairy realm found in many European legends. Some have even gone a step further, suggesting an extraterrestrial origin, that the children were aliens, and their underground world was actually the interior of a spacecraft. But historians and scientists prefer more down-to-earth explanations. A leading theory centers on a medical condition. Chlorosis, also known as hypochromic anemia, is a severe form of malnutrition caused by an extreme iron deficiency. One of its distinct symptoms is giving the skin a noticeable greenish tint, hence its nickname, the green sickness. If two children were starving and living on a severely deficient diet, their skin could certainly have taken on this hue. Once Agnes began eating a balanced diet in Woolpit, her body recovered, and the green color vanished, which fits the story perfectly. Another compelling historical theory involves the Flemings, immigrants from modern-day Belgium. In the 12th century, many Flemings settled in England as skilled weavers and merchants. However, they were often persecuted. After a major battle in 1173 near Bury St. Edmunds, just a few miles from Woolpit, thousands of Flemish soldiers and their families were killed or scattered. It's possible the two children were Flemish orphans, hiding out in the dense Thetford forest. They could have been traumatized, malnourished, and speaking a Flemish dialect unfamiliar to the Suffolk villagers. Their strange clothes might have simply been foreign Flemish attire. Their story of an underground world of twilight could be a child's confused memory of wandering lost in the dark, unfamiliar forest for days. There's even a more sinister theory. Some have suggested the children were poisoned. Arsenic was sometimes used in a practice called auricling to give the skin a pale, greenish hue, which was considered fashionable by some. Could the children have been the victims of a deliberate poisoning, perhaps by a cruel guardian, and then abandoned to die? Another possibility points to local copper mines. If the children were escaped child laborers from a mine, their skin could have been stained green from exposure to copper dust. Their tale of a dark, underground land would then be a literal description of their life working in the mines. In the end, we are left with a tantalizing puzzle. Was Agnes's story a literal truth, a glimpse into a hidden world beneath our feet? Or was it the fragmented, allegorical memory of a traumatized child trying to make sense of starvation, war, and being lost in a foreign land? Were the Green Children of Woolpit visitors from another realm, or were they simply unfortunate refugees, their story twisted into legend over time? The truth, whatever it may be, remains buried in the past, making the mystery of the Green Children one of England's most enduring and haunting tales. What do you think happened? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed unraveling this medieval mystery, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating and unexplained corners of our world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.